I've realized that sometimes telling somebody, specifically you thinking mentally, well, if I tell my mother, if I tell a close friend that I have something that I want to do, essentially breaking down a goal and telling them your goal, you know, a lot of, you know, people online tell you, hey, if you tell someone, you might feel more peer pressure to want to complete that goal. Or the opposite can happen, where if you tell your goal, even if you have trust in your mother or a close friend, you start to shy away and you don't work on your goal. So both things can happen. You can, if you tell somebody your goal, you can run. What happens is you start running away from your goal, or the other thought is you start running towards your goal. But the thing is, they tell you, hey, tell your goal to people. Tell your goal to people. But it's like, guys, don't tell people your goals, because it comes down to understanding who you are as a person. Like, bro, if you're comfortable with sharing your goal, I would say do it. If you have the mental fortitude, if you have the strength to pull through, like if you tell somebody your goal and you can actually still take action and have nothing, you won't have mental gymnastics playing in your mind and playing you and distracting you from running and pursuing the goal, then do it. But for those that don't have the strongest of minds, like, bro, if you don't have a strong mind, don't even tell somebody your goal. Like, I recently been seeing these videos like, hey, you should start writing down your goals. Write down your goal. Look at the successful person telling you to write down your goal. The successful person wrote down the goal. That's how the magic works. Well, it's like they say, not everything could work for everybody, but it's about experimenting. And growing up, I was always told, like, bro, you need to be realistic. Like, bro, you're delusional. Like, bro, you're lunatic. Bro, you're wild. Bro, you need rehab. Bro, you're mental. But it's like growing up, I grew up without a father, so a lot of things I didn't learn. I didn't learn how to. No one taught me how to self love. No one taught me about getting better and improving yourself as a human being. Basically, getting what I call better. Progress, and you know, loving yourself. There's so many forms of it, and you know, a lot of us were not taught how to love ourselves. A lot of people, like I said, they get caught in the loop, and I've realized that when it comes to this whole whether you should tell somebody or not your goals, your plans, there's you hear all different opinions, everybody's like input on how you should maneuver your life when you start having goals and you start having big goals, whether you should tell somebody or not. I just think it comes down to you, bro. I think it comes down to the individual person. If you want to tell somebody your goals, like I said, if you have a strong mind and you can still take action with people knowing, and then tell people, bro, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? We get so caught up in like, oh, I don't want to, you know, goals and plans is two different things, guys. It's two different things. Two different things. Two different things. Telling somebody your plan versus telling somebody your goals are completely different. Um, this is completely different things. Now, if you are weak-minded, because a lot of you are weak-minded losers, a lot of you have met weak minds, and you cannot take action because you feel like, oh, that person knows what I want to do now. I'm shy now. I'm afraid now. What they're gonna think of me. What they're gonna say about me. Then, don't even tell somebody the goal. That's what I've realized. That's what I've learned the hard way, and it comes down to really understanding yourself. And I've always preached this, and I've studied this, and I've got caught up into it back in 2021 when I was still a teenager. Started kind of learning the self improvement route about knowing thyself. Look into that. But I'm gonna start tapping into that again, so I can really start understanding those schools of thoughts and schools of principles, and you know that philosophies, and psychology, understanding yourself. That's a really I'm trying to tell you in this video. So I need you to understand what I said. Watch this video as many times as you need to, because that's the truth. It comes down to you knowing whether or not you want to tell your friend or your parent or your people your goals. It's about really knowing if you can handle people knowing. A lot of people can, a lot of people can't. That's just the truth.